Jones.
Well, taking a look at that time lapse, you can see had more of those clear skies earlier this morning, but then as we got closer to that lunch hour, more of that dust started blowing in very quickly with those winds out of the west, gusting up to 52 miles an hour so far at my last check, and still seeing those pretty hazy skies out there with more of that wind still pretty good out of the west, about 25 to 30 miles an hour. Temperature-wise, pretty good spread across the Concho Valley, cooler off towards the northeast, 72 in Sterling City, 77 here in town, and then the warm spots off towards the southeast, 85 in Junction right now, 81 over there in Brady. And as we're looking at those wind speeds, still pretty gusty out there, a little bit lighter for Junction at 14 miles an hour, San Angelo here at 24 miles an hour, but gusting still 38 miles an hour, Sterling City at that 45 mile an hour mark. So all of us still feeling the winds. Hopefully you've already tied down those loose objects. When we're looking at where it's kicking up more of that dust, those visibilities across the area, definitely off towards the north and west, seeing the most reduced visibilities, 2 miles there in Ballinger, only down to 1.5 in Bront there. And as we go off towards the west, 2.5 over there in St. Lawrence, 1 3/4 miles visibility over in Midland, here in town at 7, and that's the same for Junction. A little bit of clearing over towards Ozona and Sonora, it looks like. When we're looking at the dew points and relative humidity indices, this is why we're talking about that fire danger weather, because just how dry it is outside right now. 24-degree dew point here in town. Those relative humidity indices anywhere from the single digits off to the east, only getting up into the teens. So any fires that do ignite can spread pretty quickly, like we saw with that package earlier, unfortunately, in Oklahoma. As far as the states going, a very wide spread of temperatures from about 63 up in Amarillo right now. Triple digits down towards the border, 104 degrees in Laredo, 96 there in San Antonio. So a very wide spread of temperatures across the entire state. And as we're going into the upper level pattern, you can see we're going to see more of that warming trend. This trough quickly moves off to the east, bringing that severe weather with it. This upper level ridge warms us up into the weekend. Then by next week, when we get to Wednesday, that's where our next cool down could be, from the 80s into the 60s, but it's looking like a dry one. So with that, we're going to see the winds increase, and unfortunately that fire weather sticking with us. When we're looking at the current severe weather outlook, I talked about that severe weather. You can see this level 4 out of 5 swath across the Mississippi River Valley, pushing into Iowa there. But unfortunately, tomorrow looks to get even worse, pushing up towards that level 5 out of 5 risk for the Sun Belt. So if you have family over there, I'd definitely make sure to check in with them, make sure they have a plan in place, because the National Weather Service is talking about probable long-tracked dangerous tornadoes for that area of the country. So a very dangerous situation indeed. As we're looking at that current satellite, you can see the major swirl already producing numerous severe thunderstorm warnings into Missouri and Iowa. Those tornado watch boxes for Missouri and then Louisiana into Mississippi. Here in the Concho Valley, we're getting in on some of that cloud cover for some of our northern counties, and you can see some of that dust blowing in as well. But when we go into the futurecast, we're going to watch more of that cloud cover trying to push in by tonight, but especially by tomorrow when we start to get some of those partly cloudy skies. Can't rule out just 1 or 2 isolated showers around the area, but I definitely don't think it looks like a downpour, so I wouldn't cancel any plans. Sunday looks to clear up and be a pretty nice day with those winds starting to calm down as well. Taking a look at that on the wind tracker, you can see tonight not too much relief, still 15 to 25 miles an hour. Tomorrow picking up at that 30 mile an hour range, but then as we go into tomorrow night, quickly dying down by 10 to midnight into 0 to 10 miles an hour, so not too bad. For tonight, getting to around that 49-degree mark is what I'm calling, but pretty breezy still. Remember, that's going to continue into tomorrow for a beautiful day, 70 degrees, but can't rule out that isolated shower, hoping for it, in fact, with the drought monitor latest update from yesterday. And as we go into that 7-day forecast, looking pretty dry, but breezy there, especially by St. Patrick's Day as well. And as we go into that official start of spring, temperatures bouncing around from the 80s, the 60s, and 70s, with those overnight lows following the same trend.